Hello everyone. So football is finally back for Wolves, at least in the Premier League. It is West Ham United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Friday night football. It feels like it's been years since we played. It genuinely does feel like we've had a mini pre-season. The international break, the FA Cup weekend, of course, the Carabao Cup weekend, which meant we did not have a game for over, I think it's 25 days it's been since Brentford, it would have been. So, yeah. So, big game. West Ham are clearly a bigger game for West Ham, you'd argue, with them wanting to survive. They're currently, they're 18th at the moment. They're 18th. So, they need to get a win. And do you know what? Nuno has done a fantastic job. Like 18 on 29 points. We're on 17 points in 20th, but I think Nuno, to be fair to him, our old boss, obviously the legend himself, has done such a good job there, because I think back to when we played them at Molineux, our first win of the season, early January. They looked dead and buried after that game. They looked terrible, and we beat them with ease, really, which is a bad sign, isn't it, when we've been so bad ourselves this season that they lost that so convincingly. But fair play to Nuno, he always seems to find a way, and they're looking like they could stay up. Obviously, still a lot to play for, and there's still a big chance they could go down, but they'll be looking at this thinking they've got to beat bottom of the league Wolves to get a vital 3 points in their chances for survival. And of course, they lost against Leeds in the FA Cup last time out, so they'll want to bounce back from that at their stadium. And Wolves, we've got a bit of pressure on us. We do want to keep the winning momentum going and try and take over Burnley, and of course try and keep hold of that tiny little miracle of winning every game and staying up. Of course, it's unlikely, but you never know. And we need to keep the momentum positive going into, this last part of the season, the last 7 games. So we're on a bit of a high going into next season, most likely in the Championship, of course. Now, Rob Edwards did his press conference earlier. I caught a bit of it, and the main news to come out of it, really, was that Sam Johnstone and Doherty are out injured for this fixture, and Sam Johnstone is actually potentially out for the season. So, unfortunate for Johnson. Will he be around next season? Probably. Now he's got this injury. Will he move on? I doubt it. He'll probably be our goalkeeper next season. If he'd have been fit, raring to go, he might have got a move. He still may move, but I think it's more likely to stay with this injury. And Doherty, he's had a lot of injuries lately, hasn't he? He's been in and out a bit. Hasn't been much of a starter under Rob Edwards, really. Only the odd game he started, so. But no offence to those two. Obviously, no disrespect. They probably wouldn't have started anyway, so not too much bad news in terms of injuries. So that was pretty much it from the Rob Press. We did talk a bit about Krejci and Andre after Andre's nice comments on his Twitch stream, and he spoke to the Wolves website as well, didn't he? And had even more nice things to say about Rob Edwards on there. I'm sure you saw that, so. Yeah, feels like ages since we've seen a Rob presser, but that was what came out of it. Now, should we talk about the head-to-head history between West Ham and Wolves? It's fairly even. So we've met them 19 times in Premier League history. We've won 9. There's been 1 draw, and West Ham have won 9. So dead even. Dead even. Bit of bad news, though. We have lost our last 5 meetings away at West Ham in the league, with the last win coming in a 2-0 win in lockdown under Nuno. Can you remember when Pedro Neto scored that volley? Great volley, obviously behind closed doors. And yeah, comfortable win that day. And of course, you think back to Adama Traore, who's currently a West Ham player, scoring that last-minute winner in our first season back in the Premier League under Nuno, a famous victory back then. I think it was the 4th game of the season. And we ain't even got an away win this season, to put it in perspective. So, yeah, Adama Traore, of course. Max Kilman, another old boy, of course, struggling. Had a really poor game against Leeds. The West Ham fans don't like him. So I doubt he'll feature. He'll probably be dropped to Kilman for this game. But we might see Adama Traore. This is talking of players and teams, this is a tough one for a team prediction. It really is. I think my gut feeling is it would be very similar to the Brentford team. So I'll go with, obviously, Jose Sarr in goal. Right wing back, Chachua. Right centre back, Mosquera. Santi Bueno, Krejci. Hugo Bueno. Left wing back, Andre, João Gomez, and yeah, I think he'd have Bellegarde in a 3 with Mane just off of Armstrong. Or it could be like a 5-2-3 with Mane and Bellegarde either side of Armstrong. You know, they mix it up a bit, don't they? They rotate depending on whether we're defending or attacking. That does mean there's no Tolu, which is pretty harsh. You know, he could have a shout because he come on against Brentford 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was now, and did well, scored, hit the bar. And of course, Angel Gomez, there's a shout for him too after how well he did off the bench at Brentford. But I think he'll keep Mane in there. I think he'll be the same team that started at Brentford. And I think that team, if they've kept up the form and their form hasn't dipped and, you know, we're still on a high, we can go and beat West Ham. I think there's a chance we can go and beat West Ham. Yeah, despite them being a bit higher than us and having a better season. So that does bring me nicely on to my score prediction with my head and heart. So with my head, and I'm genuinely taking all emotion out of this, I think West Ham 1, Wolves 2. I do. I think we can do it. I think there's going to be so much pressure on West Ham that they might buckle under pressure a little bit, and we'll have a bit of freedom and we'll do them. And we showed at home that we can, you know, we're more of the match for them when we beat them 3-0 that day. So yeah, goals, I think Bowen obviously will score for West Ham. And then I fancy Armstrong to get on the score sheet for us again, and Mateus Mane. So 2 on my head. With my heart, why not, lads? Why not go for it? The bet I always back every week. West Ham 1, Wolves 4. Imagine it, of course. It's extremely unlikely, but why not? Again, Bowen for West Ham. And for Wolves, let's go Armstrong double. Let's go Mane and then Tolu to come off the bench to get the 4th. How nice would that be? What a victory that would be as well. But you know what? Comment your thoughts down below on your score predictions. Am I being a bit too optimistic? Maybe. Because whenever I'm this optimistic, which is not good, usually the opposite happens. And when I'm usually a bit down, usually we go and do well. So yeah, I'm feeling optimistic. That's usually a bad thing, but comment your thoughts down below on what you think of this fixture. And I hope we win, because I don't want the end of the season to be a bit of a drab. Do you know what I mean? I want to have a nice end to the season, getting a few wins, getting our first away win. So yeah, but please like the video, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I really do appreciate the support, and I'm getting close to 12,000. And of course, comment your thoughts down below on all the things discussed in this Premier League preview for West Ham. And I'll catch you after the game to give my raw thoughts straight after, and I hope it's a Wolves win. Have a great end to your week, everyone. Cheers.